This is a message from the Emergency Broadcast Corporation. This is an emergency. I think Laura is supposed to put this sound in, but I honestly think I'm doing a better job. UK Supreme Court rules that there are, in fact, only 2 genders. Okay, so today, doing something a bit different. I just decided that I needed to do another podcast because you guys know we only do one every couple weeks. But this is such a big month right now. There's tons going on. The election's coming up, and there's just too much to discuss to wait until it would be post-election that we would be meeting again. So I just decided that it was a good opportunity to take a few minutes and go over a few major headlines, things that have happened over the last week or so since we've last been in touch with the Carney episode. There's so much unfolding every single day. It's incredible. And I just wanted to take the opportunity for the very small audience I have to go over some things that you may not know, and hope that it spreads to people who may be still on the fence of whether or not they're voting conservative or liberal. So I wanted to say, I saw this really cool trend on TikTok with all these young kids doing these pleas to their parents about asking them to...
I've seen those too.
Asking them to vote conservative.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting. And, you know, the diversity is incredible that I'm seeing. I saw a bunch of Indians, like Indian kids, asking for their parents to vote conservative, as well as, you know, normal Canadians that have been here for generations, from first generations like myself. So it was kind of impressive to see. The other update, breaking news, is that my parents are voting conservative. And let me tell you something. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. If my parents are voting conservative, there is hope. I don't think, I know, actually, my mom has never voted anything but conservative because she was in love with Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and he was in power when she was like 20 or whatever, young and impressionable. So I know that she's never voted anything other than liberal. My stepdad, I don't know, but I would say I would be shocked to find out that he ever voted, although I feel like his parents might have been conservative because he was a oil guy. And the mom was a teacher, so union. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure, but doesn't matter. They're voting conservative. That's all that matters. So I feel like that's pretty, like, guys, my mom wouldn't hug me during COVID.
Oh my God.
But would hug Evelyn because the virus would skip a generation, apparently. So this is a big deal. This is a very big deal that they're voting conservative. Okay, so last night... we had what was it called? Pie and... There's agricultural... I know, but there was a name for it. Pie and... I don't know. Anyway, it was something gay, but it was like pies and MPs or something. But it was like a debate for all of the local candidates in Oxford County. And then they served pie from a local bakery afterwards.
There was actual pie.
There was actual pie.
Oh, sweet.
Unfortunately, I was not in... or fortunately, I was not in a position to eat at the end of this debate because I was... I took a bottle of water from a lady that didn't think that Jenny and I should be married.
Oh, wow.
That's how hot I was and heated because I was flabbergasted, let's say, about how bold people will lie to your face. Mm-hmm. It was really interesting. So there was 6 candidates up there, I think. So there was, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
6.
Yeah, exactly. So Oxford County has a wide variety of people running in the election. Okay, so we had Arpan for the Conservative Party.
Yep.
We had David Hilderly for the Liberal Party, who I call the Colonel because he looks like the guy from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Amazing.
But he sounds gay. Like the Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel was like badass, right? Gay. Like he was kind of like handsome for an old guy. Like he was like, you know, the big boss man. But this guy's like a total beta. Like he had rings all over, like lots of rings. I find it weird when men wear jewelry.
Yeah.
Anyway, of course this is not fact in any way, shape, or form, but he just looked like a pedophile to me. And you guys know that I have pedophile gar Not,
Nice. I like that.
so I can generally have a pretty good sense of that, and he just looked creepy to me. And then the fact that he spouted bold-faced lies didn't help his.
That's the.
Didn't help. It's okay. I got it. I got it. I can do this. No, I don't got it. Anyway, he just spewed some lies, and it was really hard to listen to. I felt like I held it together for a good chunk of the event. It was 2 hours long.
2 hours.
You guys, I don't believe in labels and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if I've always been like this, but I kind of have, I guess. I do have a hard time sitting through things. Like unless it's a hockey game.
Yeah. Well,
Or
like
something. Yeah, I guess that's just you're not doing what you like then, right? It's interesting,
that's true.
right?
Well, on a scale of like 1 to 10 being 1, you grabbed the mic, flipped out, punched someone. 10 being you just
Okay.
sat there quietly. How do you think you would score yourself? And then we'll ask
Like-
Jen.
6 or a 5 then.
Okay.
Because I didn't
Pretty good.
even at the end I did get out of my chair.
Yep.
And I told you I'll get to that, but
For the most part, you
for
stayed.
the most part, I would say for the about an hour and a half for sure, I was very, I might have dropped my head in my hands a few times and done the oh god kind of thing and tapped Jenny, but I wasn't having loud outbursts or anything
Right.
like that. And then the last 20 minutes or so, I started to get very frustrated. It was just very difficult to have somebody, multiple parties, NDP and the Liberals, just blatantly lie, say things that weren't true. And this is what I had a discussion with Jen after, and this is what I wanted to discuss right now. Her point was a good point that socially it's unacceptable to have outbursts in the event such as we were at last night. It's meant for the candidates only to speak, and when it's their turn, there's zero interruptions, and then you can ask questions and respond. I find it fascinating that we live in a society where it is socially acceptable for the candidate to blatantly lie to the several hundred audience members and other MP candidates than it is for me to have an outburst reaction to the blatant lie being told to my face by a candidate.
Yeah.
So I just find that very hard to, and I've always felt this way, that I just have a very hard time with these social restrictions that we have in place for people. Yet it's acceptable to for the opposing to lie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
Why I'm the bad guy, because at one point I finally got so fed up. I just screamed lies. But it was, and I'll tell
was
you the
lies.
exact instance. It was Arpan was giving his final speech on why he should be your candidate. And I suppose if you're an outsider and you don't pay attention to politics and you don't get to know your candidate, and you don't go in and visit the staff and you really don't know what your MP is doing. For me and for Jen, we've been kind of involved, so we know what's going on. We see the amount of work that Arpan puts in, his staff. We're friends with the staff. We know how much work they're putting in, what they're doing for local people.
Yeah.
And yet this guy was up there saying how Arpan has been absent, how he hasn't done anything, he hasn't helped any members of the community. It's just not true.
It's lies.
It's just blatantly not true. And then so he started to talk about food insecurity in Oxford County and how the food banks are seeing
A rise.
a rise in the number of people coming to use them, the different demographics, and how even the donations are starting to dry up, because even people like us that would donate, it's the prices for what you can buy, for what you can give, is just, it's getting harder and harder for everybody. So in his final statement, he chooses to attack what Arpan said instead of what the stupid liberal platform, the fake lie liberal platform is going to be. He chooses to attack him, okay, and talks about how he voted down the meal plan subsidy for children. And that's when I just had enough and I just said, lies! Like, it's a lie.
It's crazy.
And I hit Jen, because that's what I do. And I said to her, that's not true. They voted against that bill because there was actually no mouth feeding at all in that bill. That bill was a study. They wanted to study if they gave school children meals, what that might look like and how that might impact their lives. It had nothing to do with feeding children. And that's why the Conservatives voted it down. They specifically said, bring us a bill where we're feeding children and we will vote for it. We don't need another study. We know that children are hungry. We know how it affects children. We know that when they don't eat, they don't learn. We don't want another bill. Bring us a bill where you'll feed children and we will vote yes. Lies.
Wow.
And it just disgusted me.
And then we were talking about how Canada and the UK, like every country that's under the crown, is it
okay.
right versus like the states?
Well, Jen made a point this morning. She said, "I don't, maybe you're right." Which I mean, let me tell you how many times I hear that. Perfect. Bang on, Alora. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. Great. Yeah, Jen said this morning, maybe you're right, because we obviously were obsessed with Yellowstone. She said, maybe you're right. The cowboys wouldn't accept that. And they wouldn't. You see all these old shows and old movies, and when they're in American courts, if the government comes in and they say something that's not true, they rise up. That's it. They rise up, they express their voices, they yell. That's acceptable behavior. But in Canada, a Commonwealth country, like all other Commonwealth countries, we're taught in government really to shut up. It's different. Yes, there's opposition. Yes, we have speaking periods and they banter back and forth 100%. But in the settings where mostly constituents are involved, you'll notice that a lot of it is observational. And even when there are question and answer periods, if you are passionate and if you do have a difference of opinion, you are made out to look like a fool. Like I am a perfect example of this. Like I have felt that way by the mayor of our county right now. I have felt at meetings that when I speak out of tongue, when I'm angry, when I'm passionate, that I'm made to look like a fool versus someone who cares about the community, who cares about the environment, who cares about the industry, the agriculture industry. But I'm made to look foolish because I would argue that climate change is not, climate change is real because climate is changing, but that there's not a climate emergency. So anyway, there was also some interesting facts about last night that I found to be very disturbing. One being that apparently Mark Carney has reintroduced the possibility of building a east to west pipeline. I find this to be very fascinating. They brought in, sorry. Which one was it? Can you look that up? The no pipeline bill. Anyway, we'll get to that. But they had passed this bill years ago that was officially stating that there was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Bill C-69.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Bill C-69, and that's the no new infrastructure bill for no pipelines east to west, correct?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So in these reports from other liberal, media, you're hearing that, Carney's all of a sudden, he's for the pipeline now. He's going to repeal the bill and they're going to allow pipelines to be built. I just find that to be like, what are you talking about? I mean, this goes against every single thing that he stands for. He doesn't want there to be, he made very clear statements last night in the French debate about the energy. It just blows my mind how he can flip-flop from one day to the next on these. He was Trudeau's advisor for 5 years. Do you really think that no pipeline bill he had nothing to do with that when his business focuses on green energy?
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yes.
It's
Specifically, Pierre asked.
Okay, so this is in. Oh, I know this. I don't want to read this one.
You just lost it?
No, I have it, but this guy is like a super
No.
tainted hardcore liberal. But so I don't really want to give. I really don't, because I read this morning.
Yeah.
This is actually what he's saying is, this guy in this report, no, Canada's so-called pipelines bill didn't block these 16 energy projects. So this guy in this report is trying to say that the Liberals bill. So let's get this straight, okay? The Liberals create a bill, Bill C-69, that says no pipelines, no new infrastructure, okay? And then this guy is writing a report that says there were 16 energy projects, but the no pipeline bill did not block these projects from getting off the ground. That already sounds like an oxymoron to me, because when you dig into this, which I did this morning, you'll find that in these 16 examples that he's giving in here, these companies proposed these projects years and years and years and years and years and years ago. How long do you fucking think these investors are going to sit around with their fingers up their fucking asses waiting for you to repeal the red tape so that these guys can get these energy projects off the ground? If the government has a no new infrastructure bill, they're going to close the books on those possible projects because they can see that there's no fucking future to get them done. So what are you talking about? Yeah. I was so confused reading this because these are all 16 of these, by the way, were also during Trudeau's tenure as prime minister. Yep. This was not Stephen Harper. So you're going to tell me that this is not the fault of you bringing a bill and passing it that said we were not going to build new pipelines and have new energy infrastructure. Wow. It's such bullshit. Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff that just drives me crazy, because then you have just these other retards. I also want to talk about that. These other retards that are spewing misinformation online about liberal policies to do with oil and gas. Yeah. So that's that. Okay, now I want to move into the retard real quick. The R word. Uh-oh. So I had an incident on Facebook, of all places, this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't spend too much time on Facebook, but there's a few people that I like to...
rock the boat.
Yeah, there's a few people I like to push the envelope with. And there's one guy in particular who I knew him years ago. I don't even know him anymore. But anyway, he's like just a beta liberal, woke, 6 vaccines, loves the passports, loves everything. And I'm pretty sure his family's Filipino. So it's kind of odd because most Filipinos are pretty on the level. Like, that's that Mario from the North guy. Remember, that guy? He's Filipino. Most Filipinos are pretty, on the level. But anyway, he had this post about that he thought it was so vile that the R word was making a comeback, and that he was blaming Joe Rogan and the boys club and all this stuff. And so I commented, and of course he lives in an echo chamber, which is why I like to comment, because all the comments are say 16 comments, let's just for argument's sake. So there was enough that he's getting engagement. Okay. And all of them are very, pleased with his post. They're all very virtue signally. Okay. Oh yes. Vile. How terrible. I can't believe that anybody would use such a word. It's so despicable. But they throw around the word white privilege and all that, and they love killing babies. But whatever, that's beside the point. So I chimed in and I said, okay, so as someone who's gay, I also grew up in the 80s and 90s when gay was used to describe everything but a gay person. But then you could also use it to describe a gay person. You could say, oh, well, I think so-and-so is gay.
Yeah.
Totally. But everything else was also gay. Okay? So I mentioned that I use the word gay. And I don't get angry when I hear other people who aren't gay using the word gay. I mentioned that it's up to me. Only a word can hurt me if I allow it. It's a word. It has no power. If you don't like it, then that's your opinion. You don't have to like it. But it doesn't mean that I can't use the word because you don't like it. You have to learn how to not take that negatively. You have to learn as a human being how to not let what someone says to you dim you and impact you. That's your fucking problem, not mine. You have to figure that out, not me. Okay? So, anyway, I went on to say that never in my life have I used retarded to describe or say something negative to a person with a disability. I said it's reserved for people like you writing this post that are truly retarded. Okay? That's what I said, something along those lines. So then, of course, the attacks come, and I love it. I love the attacks. It doesn't bother me. I think it's hilarious. So what I've learned is actually the less that you respond, the more they respond, which is amazing. It just digs them deeper. It's really funny. And I actually don't even really go back and read a lot of the comments. Most of the time I just drop the comment and then walk away. It's like a new superpower I've developed. But what I chose to do, because I kept getting notifications, was to have a quick peek. And people were saying that the definition of retarded was someone with a disability. I know that's not true. I didn't go to university. That's a fact. But I'm fucking smart, okay? And I can read a fucking dictionary, and I have. And I know that retarded means to slow down. That's the number one definition of retard. It's to slow down, okay? So I took a screenshot of the 3 uses for the word slow down to describe somebody with a disability or a stupid, idiotic person.
Nice.
Okay, those are the 3. Yeah, fine. So I screenshotted that, dropped it in the comments, and one guy wrote, okay, so this was my favorite. He goes, okay, so you're saying that if I am driving home tonight and I'm getting all the red lights and I want to say that my drive home was retarded by the lights, then that's acceptable?
Yeah.
I was dying. I was like, if you want to say that the lights retarded your drive home, that's 100% up to you to do. It's a free country. We have free speech. That's kind of my point. So yes, you can absolutely use it in that context. You didn't need to ask my permission, but I'm okay with it. As the retarded police, I'm okay with it.
Oh my
And then I noticed that I stopped getting notifications, and I went to go check the post, and it turns out that me and Jeremy are no longer friends anymore.
Oh no.
So I'm disappointed that I don't get to follow up on what people think about the retarded lights, but it's disappointing that that's the problem with this country is that they live in echo chambers.
Yep.
So they only want to hear their perspective. When someone who I've said on posts of his before, I am a former Liberal voter, but they don't want to have a conversation as to why.
And you're gay.
And I'm gay. Don't want to have a conversation why I feel the way that I feel.
Yeah.
And now another interesting story is that my wife belongs to this little art collective, and I got some new stickers.
Oh no.
And I asked her permission. Like I did ask, because she drives the vehicle as well. We have one car. We're not wealthy. We're not elitists. We don't have 2 vehicles. Give me a break.
Oh, if they're art, they're definitely liberal.
Yes.
I know where this is going.
So
Oh, no.
Jen is highly liked, of course, at this little place. Like everybody loves Jen.
No.
And I said, hey, can I buy these new stickers? And they are fuck Carney stickers. And one is like fuck Carney, and then the other one is a finger.
Yeah.
Anyway, So she says, yes, okay. So I put them on the car, and she comes home from her little art collective yesterday, and she says, I go, what's wrong? She goes, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like people there were different. Like they were just treating me different. And then I said, well, it might have been the fuck Carney stickers on the back of the Jeep. And she's like, oh no. But then comes the realization for her that liberals are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
That they would take a person that they've enjoyed the company of. She's never said anything. They sit there and they diss Trump. They diss Poilievre. They say stuff that they shouldn't be saying. If you want to be inclusive of everybody's fucking views, you fucking liberals, that's all you preach. Inclusivity. Everyone's voice matters. Yeah. And except it doesn't matter if it's not what our voice, our echo chamber voice says. So we're going to pull away from a person that we've enjoyed the company of all these months and gotten to know, and we're going to just treat them like shit now because their crazy lunatic wife put fuck Carney stickers on their vehicle.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But that's liberals. That is 100% the description of a liberal. Wow. The minute they find out they have a different view, you can no longer be friends. Not even friends, just what would be the word? Like acquaintances. Yeah. Acquaintances that you do art with. Like we can't do art together because because I'm conservative. We can't do art together anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, okay. That's that. Anyway. Another top news story. Carney announces that he doesn't buy American alcohol anymore. That's how he's doing his part. Elbows up. Elbows up. Okay, so Carney's doing his part. He's not buying any more American wine or American alcohol. Oh, but he lives in New York.
Yeah.
And his wife and daughter, son, child, it lives in New York. So there's that. Okay, this is an interesting one. I have a new job, everybody.
Oh, goodness.
I got a new job. This is where is it falling or am I just slouching and then I raise up again?
No, it's falling just because
okay.
This has to be over here.
So I got a new job. I'm a scrutineer.
Hey.
Where's the fucking applause?
Hey.
I'm a scrutineer now. So I have to be at the elections place, the election center, every night for about an hour to scrutinize the day's work and make sure that everything is done the way that it should be, fair and ethically. So I assume there's also going to be a liberal as well.
And is there one of these like at every everyone?
Every polling center. Thank you.
And did they give you a list of things that you should
There's
monitor?
a training course I have to take.
Really?
Yeah, it's about an hour long.
Wow.
Yeah, of what to
That's
look for
exciting.
and yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I used to be an enumerator in the 80s and 90s, so I'm kind of a big deal already. Anyway, I've done this. I've been part of Elections Canada for years and years and years when they used to make you go door to door to all the slums in the East End of London. And I'll never forget my brother and I, Mitch, we went into, there was a place, anyone from East London knows there's a bingo hall. And behind the bingo hall, there's these several 3-story walk-up buildings. And in the 80s, they were a dump then, and they're still there now. Okay. But I can remember we were a bit afraid to go, into this place. It was kind of scary. Go door to door, whatever. We went to this one guy and he was like, yeah, come on in. He was like this big fat guy. Come on in. So we go in and we were like, oh my God, we'd never seen anything like it. We didn't have leather couches. Okay. We did not have leather couches. This guy had a living room full of black leather couches, a huge big screen TV, a huge stereo boxes and boxes of unopened other electronic devices and stuff like that. He was a fucking drug dealer or like dealing in stolen goods, like something like that. Living in this. So if you lived in these buildings, you were on social assistance. So my point is, even back then, I knew there was something fucking wrong with this picture. You've got this big fat slob who's not working, but he's clearly capable of working, living off of government assistance in a government housing building with leather couches that we didn't have when both of my fucking parents worked. And I knew back then there was something fucking wrong with that. You know? And I still voted Liberal. More socialism. More welfare. If people had to work, if they didn't have the assistance, they would. Now, of course, there's people that need assistance, blah, blah, blah. I'm not fucking arguing that. But this guy didn't need assistance. And this is how the fucking scamming happens. And this is why a socialist government does not work. Because there's always going to be people like me that work hard and people like that take from the system.
Yeah. Always.
It's just not fair.
No.
Wow. Yeah. So, okay, back to my scrutineering. What I wanted to mention was that there's some systems in place this time around that I find to be very interesting. And from the research that I've done, they appear to be new. They appear to be new protocols that haven't been in place before. But I could be wrong, but I did do some homework on this, and I feel like I'm pretty accurate. But ballot boxes are going home. Okay? So, I mean, I hope to get more information on this coming up because, again, I'll be taking part in some of the election stuff. But I can't wait to figure out more about this situation with ballot boxes going home. So apparently the ballot boxes are not safe in the locked facilities at nighttime. So they're being sealed and then taken home to the staff's private residences. And then the next morning they are to be inspected and then reopened.
What?
Or whatever. Yeah.
That's crazy. Has that happened before? Like in the last?
I don't think so. From the research that I did, I don't think it's been a common practice before. If anybody has a comment and they want to share it and tell me that I'm wrong, I'd love to hear it. But not that I saw. And so the devil's advocate in me, the criminal mind in me wants to think like, okay, if I was the liberal here, which I have been, so I can think like a liberal, how would I, it's just like being a little kid. How do I get out of something? How do I think of a lie and think of it quick, right? I would just take the tape home with me, like put it in my bag, go home, gently take the tape off, go through the box, pull out all the conservative votes, seal it back up, bring it back the next day. Boom. I mean, what the fuck's so hard about that?
That's crazy. Wow.
Now, speaking of that, I think we're going to show a clip from this perhaps in the actual episode, but I think we talked a little bit about her in the Carney episode last week, but this Barbara Ball, who's running in Nepean against Carney, she put out a video. I showed it to you, right? I sent it to you.
Possibly.
With all the signs being stolen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So they had a really smart plan. Somehow they must have known that the Liberals were going to be up to no good, which, I mean, I don't think it's that hard to figure it out. So what they did was they had painted posts. They had painted their wooden signposts with blue tips. Huh. And they had written like a 3-digit code. I can't remember. CP. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, I can't remember, but a 3-digit code, like just so that they would know what's what, whose sticks or whose sticks. Okay. So what they were finding was that what they were finding in that riding was that they had started their campaign quite early and they had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of signs up before the Liberals did. And they noticed that a lot of their signs had gone missing and that they were having a lot of complaints from constituents calling in and saying that they had signs stolen or broken. And then once the snow started to melt, they started to find signs in pits, in ravines, in garbage cans, just on the ground. But here's another interesting thing that they found. They found that the posts that they had used had liberal signs on them. And they knew this because those signposts were marked, again, with the blue tips and the 3-digit code on the stakes. Okay? They also knew because if you've ever hung a corrugated sign and put a screw through it, you'd know that if it breaks, the screw and the corrugated plastic would stay together in the stake. So you can literally see where the blue sign and the screw and the screw still sits. And on the other side, it's where the liberal sign is.
That's so crazy.
There's that instance, and then there's also the instance of where they had the buttons. Okay, so liberals were found at a conservative rally with "Stop the Steal" buttons that they were handing out. Conservatives obviously felt like this was an odd slogan to have on a button. It's not something that we've been promoting or discussing, and it was a very Trump-esque button to have. Well, we of course later found out that it was the liberal employees of Mark Carney that were spreading these buttons. So what happened to the people that were spreading the buttons? Reassigned. Not fired, reassigned. And what happened to the employees? And by the way, this is Mark Carney's riding. So if you don't think that order is coming from him, you're wrong. What happened to the people that had destroyed and moved signs? Reassigned. So he'll fire no one. It will just be like Trudeau. Reassigned. No one takes no accountability. And it's just, it's low. Like, you don't think that I want to drive over every fucking liberal sign that I see and spray paint a Nazi sign on it? Because I do. I do.
Yeah.
But I haven't, and I wouldn't, and I'd never. First of all, it's against the law. It's actually a federal offense. I wouldn't do it. I have more class than that. I might have a hard time keeping myself quiet at a debate, but I have enough class that I wouldn't destroy someone else's property.
Wow. And when we're filming this, tonight is the English debate, right?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to
Oh, yeah.
to that?
We're going to a watch party
Amazing.
at the headquarters here.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited because I did watch a majority of the debate en français.
Yep.
And Carney's answers it's difficult to understand what he's getting at sometimes.
In French and in English.
Of course, of course, 100%, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just
absolutely.
like a word,
Yeah,
salad
you're right.
of words.
Absolutely,
Like,
you're absolutely right. Yep, no, that's 100% true. But I am interested to see it tonight and see what goes on. I'm interested about the pipelines. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear about these new pipelines that he wants to build. I'm just so excited. And like just another fact, 10 years of the Liberal government and we still don't have fresh drinking water to every Canadian.
Yeah.
So it's just, just all these promises that, this guy Hilderly made last night at this debate. And I'm still blown away that after 10 years of this Liberal government, not every single Canadian still has clean drinking water. But you think that it's going to change now. Now it's going to change. Insanity. It's wild to me. Wild. Yeah.
Man.
Wild.
Any other thoughts for this emergency episode?
Yeah, I've got just a couple more. There was a Liberal candidate who kind of said the quiet part out loud the other day in a press conference when she said that the Liberals want to have violent criminals on house arrest because it's a huge burden on taxpayers.
Yes.
And I just thought that was quite interesting for her to say out loud. I don't care how much money it fucking costs to house a convicted murderer or pedophile or violent criminal. I really don't care. Maybe if we didn't spend $30 billion on the Green Slush Fund, we could afford to house violent criminals. Maybe if we didn't send hundreds of millions of dollars to Ukraine, maybe we could afford to keep violent criminals in prison. Maybe if we didn't spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on COVID lies, narrative, vaccines that went to waste, vaccine passports that were against the Constitution, maybe then we could afford to house violent criminals in prison. Maybe.
Maybe. Crazy.
And then I just wanted to remind you that $5 billion more was found registered to Brookfield in the Cayman Islands, which is where actually the same spot that Barack Obama called it the Caymans the largest tax scam in the entire world.
Yeah.
So, by the way, we found $5 billion more in Brookfield assets, but he's just a regular guy. And he also announced, by the way, last thing, he did announce yesterday that there were only 2 genders.
He did. Oh, yeah, you're right.
So Mark Carney announced that there's only 2 genders. And we were having a bit of a debate on why he might have said that. What would be the reasoning for that? Because it is a bit of an odd thing for the Liberal Party to say. Does go against all of their stances.
I think he was caught off guard, and
I agree, because he was a lot. Well, he said, well, 2. That's it. And then
2 genders, yeah.
that's it. Like, no more. Like, I don't want to discuss it anymore. And then the follow-up question was, do biological women and girls deserve safe spaces in Canada? And this is where he faltered with his, word salad for about, literally, 30 seconds of him saying, we're in Canada, so everyone has equal rights.
Yeah,
We
something
watched
like
it
that.
together, something like that. So really interesting the way that he put that. It's really just a yes or a no answer.
Yeah.
There's really not much room for I don't really get that. But I would assume that when he is called on that again, tonight maybe, my assumption is solely that he's going to say something along the lines of, well, yes, there are only 2 genders because whatever they believe they are is what they are. That could be a way out of what he said.
Yep.
But what about the non-binary people? I don't know. That left them in a lurch.
Yep.
Non-binary people that don't have a gender,
I think he
are going to be very upset today.
shot himself in the foot with that one, with one of the different groups that follow him.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's no way he's not going to piss off someone with that answer.
Yeah.
There's no way. I still don't believe it. I believe it was a mistake. I do believe he was caught off guard because it was like a non-legacy media outlet that asked the question.
I think it was just like a random
It was True
person.
North. No, it was True
was
North.
it True North?
I think
Yeah.
it was True North.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know how they got that question. Good for them. Good for them.
Slid that right in.
Yeah.
Shit.
But anyways, so I guess that kind of wraps it all up, and I just wanted to get some more information out there to everybody to hope that everybody had sort of as much information as they could possibly get so that they could make an educated decision coming up next week. So
And this will be out on Monday.
yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. And
yeah.
you guys can vote all weekend. Early polls are open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I know it's Christ is King and it's the Easter weekend, so maybe it's not a good time. Then you can vote next week. But if you have time this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you can get out. Oh wait, well you won't hear this, but too bad. Monday, you'll be able to hear it Monday. Get out Monday night.